Hey guys, I'm not sure why the original audio didn't work in the video. It didn't work till a minute 34 in. I'm going to do my best to go over what I said. I'm going to give my review for East versus West, which just happened. Obviously, if you haven't seen it yet and don't want spoilers, don't watch this video. I might forget some things. I'm just going off memory here. And if I don't talk about your match as much as some others, it's nothing against that match. I just have more to say about some matches than others. The first match was Joseph Morato versus Cody Wood. In this match, the first round, Joseph stopped Cody in a hook for just a second, very low to the pad, but Cody won. The second match, Cody flashed him, and I was like, you just have to try the full start, Joseph. Do something, because it's coming down to speed, and it looked like Joseph's strength was there if he could stop it. So Joseph started hitting really hard, and he slipped out, and he was diving into a hook, and he was able to stop the match in the center and get on Cody's bicep. And when he got on Cody's bicep, Cody made it a good match, but Joseph had more endurance. He had his shoulder behind his hand versus Cody was opening up, so Joseph was in a better position. In the end, he ended up winning 3-2. This was for the number one rank in the USA. Some say North America, but I'm on the US ranking committee, so I'm on the USA ranking committee, not the North American committee, so I'm just going off my rankings, the armfighter.com ones. Really good win for Joseph. I hope to see him pull a good European arm wrestler next, or Asian, some kind of international arm wrestler. Maybe him against Valen Lowe, because I know Valen wants to drop down to 70 kilos. Then we had, that actually was the second match. The first match was Arsen versus Andrei Sharkovich. I had Sharkovich as the favorite because he beat him last time they met. And I can't remember exactly how all the matches went, but the first one, Arsen won, if I remember correctly. It was kind of surprising a little bit. And the second one, it was a battle with Shark having position and Arsen holding. Arsen won in the hook, and then he was holding Shark here. Shark had basically top rolled Arsen, and Arsen held for maybe 10-15 seconds, and finally opened up into the King's move and then lost. And you think, well, Arsen held as long as he could, already opened up all the way, he's probably must be gassed. But no, Arsen came back and won 3-1. Looked super strong. I'm curious to see what's next for him. He said he'd pull anyone. He's not really sure. He mentioned maybe Todd Hutchings. I don't know if he's quite ready for that yet, but I'm not sure if he's ready for like Stoyan Galamano. If I'd pick Stoyan as the favorite, but maybe that could be an interesting match, something like that. Or if he pulls another American, maybe him against Paul Lynn at 105 kilos, maybe, or like Lachlan. I don't think Arsen's ready for the top 10 yet, but I'm interested to see who he pulls next. We had Hunter Knopf versus Valen Lowe. I thought Hunter was the huge favorite, and most people thought he was the huge favorite. But in the end, it was 3-2. You could say Hunter, the couple he lost were on fouls. The refs were doing a very good job, in my opinion, on calling movement in the ref script. Especially, I don't know his name, but the bald ref. I really like that ref. He doesn't mess around. He doesn't take crap from anybody. I like that. But even though the two losses were on fouls, there was at least one time where Valen stopped Hunter and took his wrist all the way back. It looked like Valen, if he could stop the match, if he was a little bit quicker, he was very capable of winning that match. So Hunter did get the win, but Valen was close. It was mainly speed for Hunter, and Valen just couldn't stop him. And if he did stop him, he was usually very low and couldn't hold from that low position. But he wasn't far away from winning. Since Hunter won, I'm not saying he will win or wouldn't win, but I think he deserves someone like Giannis. Just because he's won his last 2-3 matches right-handed. 3 matches, I think. He beat Berg, he beat Ehrlich, and now he beat Lowe. So give him someone good, not top 5, but top 10, and let him see where he's at. We had Sarah Bachman versus Jocelyn Brisson. Jocelyn won 3-0. I knew going into this, Sarah's plan was going to be the top roll, and every time she top rolled, and they slipped pretty quickly, and then the straps, I noticed, I'm not saying this was like a mistake on Sarah's part. I think it's just where the hands were placed to be a fair grip, but Sarah was too low to top roll. Her plan was to top roll, but they gripped her too low. It was a rough grip every time. And from there, in the strap, the strap just connected her to Jocelyn's arm too much, and Jocelyn's arm was very strong, and she beat Sarah quick twice. I told my wife Sarah's got to shoot for a hook. It's her only chance now. Top roll's not working, but maybe if she can shoot into a hook and stop her and tie her up, she can bleed her out. And that's basically what Sarah tried to do, but she got 2 elbow falls. It looked like Jocelyn was too strong anyways because Sarah stopped Jocelyn in a losing position. And I thought if she could keep holding her, she might bleed her out, but Jocelyn really transitioned into a, she put her shoulder forward and got on top of her hand and got in a good position where she could probably last a long time too. And even though I assume Sarah probably had more endurance because she's been arm wrestling for longer and she's just lighter, I guess. Jocelyn got in a position where she probably could have even won in the war, in my opinion. Jocelyn said she wants Egla Vetkut next. I think that's the next logical match for her, and I think that will be a banger. We had Cody Merritt versus Evgeny Prudnik. Evgeny won this match. Actually, I predicted perfectly. This was like the one I predicted the most perfectly, probably. Or one of the ones I predicted the most perfectly. When Prudnik got into a hook and got Cody on his bicep, he dominated. There was one match, I think round 2, where Cody, it was kind of similar to the Shark Arson match. Cody got Prudnik over here, but not as low as what Arson was holding Shark, but he got Prudnik over here, almost kind of had him top rolled, but he couldn't finish him, and Prudnik held and held and held, and when Cody tried to transition, he got turned back into a hook, and from the hook, Prudnik won easily. And yeah, it looked like Cody made it the match, at least that one round, by compromising his wrist and getting him over in the losing side, but in the end, Prudnik had too much arm power, and he could not be pinned. Prudnik looked very strong again. He said he would like to pull Tobias. I'm not sure if that's the match I would personally pick, but maybe someone in the 6 to 10 range I think would be good. Maybe him against the Deacon. Again, the Deacon's ranked really high now, but I think the Deacon would be the favorite, but I wouldn't mind seeing Prudnik pull like Alex Kardashian left-handed, maybe someone like that. And he said he feels strong again, and he's hoping to have a right-hand match in about 3 months. So June, end of June. I think that's 2 events away. We'll see who they put him up against. We had Craig Tullier versus John Theron. Craig ended up winning 3-0. I thought that John was going to win because of the first match. I've expected Craig to get the hit, and if it stopped, John would maybe outlast him. But John got the hit on the first start, got Craig about halfway down, and John yelled. He's like, yeah! And it's like he thought he had it, and I thought he had it, because he actually got the hit, which was surprising. And this match was surprising because John got the hit basically every time, and Craig was the one stopping him and holding him and then bringing him back from a losing position, which was unexpected. I will say, overall, in my opinion, the refs did a great job. In my opinion, I've seen some complaining online because they thought the refs were too strict, I guess. But to me, this was the best draft event in all of East versus West, any of them. Of course, any event, even with strict drafting, I can find some complaints. And this is the only one that I'll say something about, probably. I do think in round 2, they called the pin high when Craig pinned John. You couldn't tell 100% from the camera angle, but even Neil Pickup said he was not convinced it was a parallel pin. You couldn't tell from the camera angle because Risto's head was in the way. But regardless of that, Craig did sweep him. He got 2 clean pins, and the third was one that was debatable. Craig probably would have won anyways if it kept going. So I'm not saying that would have made a difference or would have changed the match, but it definitely seemed like a high pin. But yeah, he made it even though it was a sweep on Craig's part, John made it a good match. It wasn't easy. Ingen said, I would like to see Craig pull David Egan for the #1 spot in North America at 85 kilos because Egan's the other contender. But Ingen said that the winner will get a European, which I think is fair. So maybe John Theron can pull David Egan, and then in the future, the winner of that, if David Egan beats him, he can pull Craig maybe in a few months or a year. But I would like to see Craig pull Tuziev. I don't know how to say his first name, but Tuziev from Kazakhstan. He's the guy that pulled Samushia maybe 2 years ago. Maybe he beat him once the first round and ended up losing 3-1. I think that'd be a good match because I personally don't think Craig's top 5. Tuziev is the current WAF champion, but I would still say Tuziev's probably not top 5 either. Maybe around 5th. I think that would be a next logical match for Tullier, would be something like that. I know they like to put everyone at Samushia, but I think that Craig should not pull Samushia straight out of the gates. He should beat at least one, maybe two more guys first. And I think him and Tuesday would be a good match. They're both really quick. It could be a banger. We had the best match of the night, in my opinion, Yanis versus Mendagas. This was a chess match. They went back and forth. They both lost their round on fouls without much arm wrestling. Then after that, it was very close. Mendagas lost his wrist a couple times, gave it up a couple times after fighting for it. He gave it up and tried to flop. A couple times he had Yanis super close, somewhere within this range with the flop wrist press, but couldn't finish him. Had a couple fouls. It's funny, they were at one point they were 2-2, and I thought that Mindy was dumb because he had Yanis very close with the flop wrist press and ended up letting up. And the commentator said they thought maybe Mindy got injured. But I don't know why he let up in that round. If it was strategic, like save himself for the next round, it was very risky because that put the score at 2-2 and he almost had Yanis beat. But in the end, Mendagas did win. It was definitely the match of the night. Super, super close. Could have gone either way. Since Mindy won, I know before he was supposed to drop down to 70 kilos and pull Danel Justino for the title. I'd like to see that one, or if he pulls a match up again. I don't know if he should go for Makarov straight to the gates. I suspect Makarov's gonna pull Prokopchik for the title. Maybe Mindy could pull the winner of that or the loser of that. I'm not really sure who else he has to face at that weight class right now. We also had Matt Mask versus Angarbayev. I picked Angarbayev just because I thought that he's not going to come back from surgery without being in good shape. And if he's in good shape, I think he'd win. But Matt absolutely destroyed him. It wasn't close at all. Some people are saying that Matt only won because Angarbayev was just coming back from surgery. Maybe, maybe not. We can't say 100% for sure. It's just guesswork, right? I think that Angarbayev would not have came back if he wasn't at least 90 to 95% peak shape and Matt destroyed him. I think Matt just got a lot stronger. People are like, oh, but Matt got destroyed by Sandris. I'm not saying he beat Sandris now, but that was a long time ago. Like, Matt's been on a tear lately. He says he's the best he's felt in over a decade. I think Matt's just leveled up immensely. Maybe Angarbayev was not at his peak, but I still think he was in very good shape, and the Matt's just that strong. Matt said he wants to pull Nugo. I think that would be a super exciting match. And then he wants to pull for the title after that. I think that's fair. I'm not sure even if he beats Nugo, I'm still not sure if he's the most deserving for a title shot, but why not? Like, just if he wins again, why not? Just give it to him. We can't see the same matches over and over. We got to see something different. So I think him and Nugo would be super exciting because they're both so entertaining, super explosive, really good top rolls. I think Matt will win that one, to be honest, because I think his arm's too long for Nugo. Travis mentioned that, Bajent mentioned that maybe Yoshi Kanai against Matt Mask would be a good matchup too. I think that'd be interesting too. I'd like to see either one of those matches. I think that Matt would beat Yoshi too, just because Yoshi's like, he catches people. He's slow, and I think Matt's speed would be too much for him. But I wouldn't mind seeing that one either at all. I'd love to see that one. Let's see, I'm looking at my list here. We also had, I don't know what the order was now, but I don't think I missed any here. We had Mendagas versus Hunter Knops left-handed. I thought Mendagas was the heavy favorite, but he won even easier than I thought he would. Honestly, it was a complete destruction. This was the biggest mismatch of the night. 2 times he got Hunter over here, kind of paused for a second and then slammed him. The third one he held Hunter and let him work and pinned him. Hunter's left's really strong. Nothing is Hunter, but Mindy's a level, maybe 2 levels above him left-handed. Honestly, he won even easier than I thought. I thought he was the heavy favorite. I'm not super surprised it went that easy, but Mindy's left's really strong. I think he might be top 4, top 5 in the world left at that weight. For anyone that doesn't know, Mindy is better right-handed, but his left is also very good. He's won WAF left-handed. He beat Daniel Prokopchik left-handed a long time ago. I wouldn't mind seeing him pull Yanis left-handed, to be honest, because I think they're both slightly weaker left than right. Mindy and Yanis both are, but it's close. They're both very close. Some people might say, oh, Yanis is quite a bit better right, but in the past he was, but in the last couple of years, his lefts looked really strong. He's been really doing good in super matches left-handed. Not East versus West, but he's been playing other super matches and looked super dominant. Beating people that I don't think he would have beat a couple of years ago, in my opinion. So I wouldn't mind seeing Mindy pull Yanis left. It might be another chess match similar to the right-hand one. Or I'm not saying he would win or be close even, but throw Mindy at Prokopchik left hand, and why not? Who else is going to pull Prokopchik at 77 kilos? Unless Perez drops down. I don't think there's anyone else anyway, so unless Alan Zolov comes back, there's really not that many options, and so you could throw Mindy at Daniel left. It wouldn't be terrible. Or you could give Mindy Daniel left-handed also at 70 kilos if he drops down to 70. We had Gorgi Svetkov versus Dave Chafee. I was super impressed with Gorgi. He won 3-0. I thought Chafee would at least win one. Chafee said he felt the best he's felt in a few years, and I believe he was the best he's been in a few years. But I wouldn't say he got dominated. Like, he hit to the side, got Gorgi very low, but Dave lost his hand already pretty quickly. And even though he had Gorgi low and Gorgi didn't pin him right away, it didn't look like it was that close. Like, I can't say he got dominated because it wasn't like Gorgi just smoked him, but like at the same time, I feel like Chafee never had a chance to win really. When he had Gorgi low, he tried to transition. He tried to be smart with his transition to the flop wrist press because he had Gorgi low, but he was over here and he needed to get over here. But when he tried to come up and press, he tried to time it right, not rush it or whatever, but he just couldn't get up and get the shoulder behind his hand without losing position. And when he lost position and Gorgi got Dave on his side of the table, Gorgi won pretty easily, pretty quickly from there. In the final round, Gorgi got the hit and Dave held him over here, and then they came back to center and Dave had his shoulder behind his hand, but in the center of the table, and Gorgi couldn't pin him right away, but he was holding, looked pretty comfortable in my opinion. I think Dave's really strong right now. I'm really impressed with Gorgi. I think he might be the strongest he's ever been. What's next for Gorgi? He said he wants to pull Gennady. I honestly, like Gennady, I don't think that match is going to happen. Maybe it will, but Gennady said he wants to drop to 115 kilos. So for that reason, it probably won't happen. But if it does, I think Gorgi's too strong for him. I think he'll take Gennady's hand. I would like to see Gorgi pull. Obviously, Hermes is pulling Levon, but if Levon beats Hermes, I would like to see Gorgi pull Hermes later this year. He said he thinks he can beat Hermes, so why not? And I think Gorgi's, I don't think he's top 10 right now, in my opinion, but I think he's re-entering the top 10. I'm not saying beating Chafee earned the top 10, or the top 5, I'm sorry. I don't think Gorgi's top 5 right now, and beating Chafee doesn't put him in the top 5, but I think he is re-entering that top 5. He's going to, or he will. I wouldn't mind seeing him pull Krdecha to even up the loss. He could pull Cataract again. Michael Todd. I think one of those three, maybe this summer, and then if Levon beats Hermes and Gorgi beats whoever he faces next, then Gorgi should pull Hermes, in my opinion, at the end of the year. Fall, winter. We had Devin Larratt versus Corey West. This match was pretty much how I thought it was. I thought Corey would get at least one pin, and he was close. The first match, it was very close, and Devin ended up following way off the back, I believe on purpose, to get a restart. But in the end, Devin swept it, and the subs were a lot quicker than usual. The last one, the interesting thing about this match to me was that Devin seemed to be not trying to slip, which is very unusual for him. In the last round was the one round they didn't slip, and Devin actually got on top of Corey's hand without the strap, and then came up and pressed him straight to the pad. That was the one match that was easy. The first two were wars. Good match. Devin looks really good. He said he wants Tobias next. I'm not sure if that would be the next logical match for him. It wouldn't be a bad match. Interestingly enough, in my pre-prediction interviews, or in my pre-prediction video, I said that Tobias would be a good one for him. I still think it would, but he could also pull Camille straight away. Not like next month, but maybe 2 events away. He said he thinks he needs a little bit more time to train, which I agree with. I think I want to see him pull Ivan Medashenko, if not at 115, because Devin doesn't want to drop right now. Ivan can pull supers. I think that'd be an interesting match. And then Tobias can get Prudnik. But I don't know what they're going to do. These are just my opinions, and they can do whatever they want, obviously. And then the last match, John Brzenk versus Yoshi Kanai, basically went about how I thought. John got Yoshi pretty close, but couldn't finish him, and Yoshi held. It looked like Yoshi was really not holding easy. It looked like he was working to hold, but there was nothing John could do to pin him. And he pulled the best he could, John did. He tried everything he possibly could, but he just didn't have the strength to do it at this point in his career. I thought in round 3, I thought by now Yoshi would be holding John easily. But he looked like he was really not easily holding John. It looked like he was actually having to work to hold John. And last Yoshi was really acting and just making it look good. But when Yoshi got position and finally got John, like Yoshi had the hold out here for a long time, but when he finally got back to his side of the table, he was able to pin John easily every time. Like I said though, looked like he was having to work hard to hold, unless he was just playing and being respectful and making it look good. And this might be John's last match. I personally don't think it will be. I think he will come back. Whether he comes back to the East versus West level, I'm not sure, but I think he will come back in some capacity. I really hope that. I can't believe it will be John's last match. So I don't want to believe that. I really hope it's not. What's next for Yoshi? If he drops down to 95 kilos, I don't know if he can bang with Heracli, maybe Bacho. I think these guys are too fast and have too good of top rolls for him. I think he'd be better off against the hook puller, but I'm not sure who. Paul Lynn maybe at 95. I'd like to see him against Paul Lynn at 95. That'd be a good match. I'd like to see that match. I think Yoshi would have to be the favorite, but close. And the last thing I have to say, and this, I'm obviously different from a lot of arm wrestlers, people in general actually, but I see a lot of people complaining because the athletes weren't mic'd up in a lot of the matches. Honestly, I didn't realize they weren't mic'd up. I thought they were intentionally not playing audio from the athletes. Because during some of the earlier matches, you could hear the commentators very well, and you could hear some of the stage noise athletes, but not as loud. But then in some of the later matches, I guess the athletes weren't mic'd up, is what I heard. I assume they were just. It was kind of annoying to hear both the athletes and the commentators at the same time, because it was like hearing two things at once. So I thought they purposely silenced the athletes so we could hear the commentators, and I liked it actually. But I guess a lot of people do want to hear like Devin Larratt's whatever he does, all his spiel. I like that we couldn't hear it because to me it annoys me. Say what you want, it just does. So I like that you couldn't hear it, and then you could just hear the commentary. But I can see both sides. But I personally didn't realize if they did make a mistake and not mic the athletes up. I guess I just didn't realize it. I thought they just chose to not play that audio and play the commentary, because having two audios at once is confusing. The one match I did want to hear what they were saying actually though was the Yanis Mindy match, because I was curious and interested to see what they were complaining about. Or, you know, it's a chess match and it's very technical, and they were both saying no, like whatever they weren't happy about or debating about, I was interested to hear that. But overall, I personally thought the production value was really good this time. They had a few mic issues, you know, talking to the mic and you couldn't hear it. But besides that, and a couple times when the athletes were walking out, they didn't show the walkouts. They just kept the camera on the stage. Besides that, I thought this was one of the best. My feed didn't lag at all. My feed never froze for the first time, I think, ever, to be honest. And the roughing was better than usual, in my opinion. Opinions may vary, but that's my opinion. Overall, a great event. And yeah. Sorry I rambled a little bit at the end. It's hard to keep all my thoughts together at once, and the video ends up getting long. But if you watch till the end, please leave a like and subscribe. One day I'll get to 1,000 subscribes. It might be 10 years from now, but one day I will.